G'day. I thought today I'm going to show you how we plant. There's a lot of technology that has changed the way that we do plant crops in Australia. And the main difference between now and say 30 years ago is this concept of moisture seeking farming or zero-till farming. And this is how we do it. We've got a Case 9380 here. So we need the 400 horsepower he's got there to pull this Multiplanter, which is a 60 foot or 20 metre Multiplanter. We've made a lot of alterations on it. They're really good machine. They flex in so many different ways. As you can see, there's just flexing points everywhere. So it's made in 3 sections, and it flexes this way, it flexes this way. It really follows our land, and because we've all melon hole country here that's all over the place, it's pretty important. So we tow behind an air seeder. This is a Simplicity 12,000, and there's also another seed box that goes on the machine for when we do small seeds, or if we put lucerne in as well as the cereal grains. So grain tank pushes the seed with air right through the entire machine, as you see, goes through all those distributing caps and then comes down through there, the line into the point. So you've got this little knife point here. He digs a tiny little furrow. The seed gets dropped in straight behind. As you can see, there's some wheat there that's they've blown out, and then the press wheel comes along behind and puts pressure on him, which is kind of like when you're gardening, you put a seed in and you push it down with your foot. That's pretty much how it works, and it stops any wastage of moisture in the olden times, or still what we do in a lot of our country, but the older way that most people would understand is that you plough up the country, put the seed behind it, and away you go. But if you're in a country like Australia, and particularly with our changing weather patterns, it's really important that whatever moisture you've got in the ground, you keep it there. And we use chemicals to do zero-till farming, which means that we, rather than ploughing the country, we leave all of the plants that grow there as a cover on the ground, and then we just spray them out, and rather than plough them out. And then when you plant, it's doing the same thing. You just tiny little furrow and then press it down so that the moisture can't release as the ground's all crumbly. There's your big fan at the back, which blows all the air through to get all that seed distributed along there. How we get the grain into that seeder is with the old headers. We've got a few old headers. Now they don't work anymore to harvest the country, but we do use them as large grain tanks. So the seed grain is all in these silos here. They're sealed silos. The auger takes it up into the header, and then the header puts it into the grain tank. And of course the headers can go anywhere on the farm, and rather than taking trucks out, you use the headers to fill the grain tanks. It's a pretty efficient way of doing things, and Dad's been doing it for about 30 years by using those headers. So there's a few little tips on how farming's changed, and how we're using a lot of different technologies on the farm now. And I mean, even me as a 30-odd-year-old farmer, that it's pretty extraordinary to see the technological advances that we've had. The main thing, of course, is the change in the zero-till, but also just the size of the equipment that we now use. So at this end, machinery is getting bigger, but funnily enough, at that end, the machinery is getting smaller. Tractors don't need to be as big as they used to be, because before, of course, you were ploughing so much that you needed a huge tractor to be able to pull the machine through. Whereas because the furrow is so small on these machines, you don't need as big a tractor, and you can carry a bigger grain tank, which means less downtime, less filling up with the header over there, and the more time that your driver is driving, the more plants that get put in the ground. And because you're seeking moisture, that's the most important thing there is to a farmer, is getting the seed to where it needs to be when it needs to be there.